Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over the all-new 2022 Toyota Corolla hatchback. Now this one is an SE Nightshade, if you guys are running from a package perspective. First and foremost, so a huge shout out and thank you to the Large Mailer Toyota here in Murray for giving me some time with this Corolla. Check out the inventory in the description down below. Let's get right into the video. So under the hood we have a naturally aspirated 2-liter 4-cylinder that goes through a CVT automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 32 around town and then 41 on the highway, with power outputs being 168 horsepower and then 151 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go over the front end of the Corolla hatch. So first off, with the black paint, it really shows off the body lines on this particular car, and I think it looks just fantastic. Coming down from that, you guys can see we've got the projector bulbs with all the LED accents. I think those look great as well. The whole front grille has also been blacked out. Notice the Toyota logo. Obviously you got the chrome for the main part of the logo, but then the back part of the logo is blacked out as well. And yeah, overall I think it's a really good looking car. From a front end perspective, there's quite a bit happening. You guys can see here, especially at the bottom part, with just how aggressive it is with all the different lines and everything. And yeah, I suppose that's the front end. So coming on the side here, we've got two 25mm tires wrapped around 18-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And then you guys will notice the wheels themselves have been completely blacked out as part of the Nightshade package. Got the Toyota logo there in the center of the wheel itself. And then notice that we don't have fender flares or anything like that. They've just kept it clean here around the fender area. Notice the mirrors are body painted, so are the door handles. This one's got the Toyota roof rack on it. You've got the logo here with it. And then it shows you how to lock and unlock it here with this little thing. But other than that, here is the full side view on the Corolla hatch. And you guys can see it actually looks really good. It has this kind of like wide, low look. And notice here in this part of the rear how they kind of have this part come out a little bit, and it kind of gives it a little bit of a hip type look, if that makes sense, like as in it has like hips in the back, if that makes sense. And then also having a little side skirt there helps out as well. And then here's kind of like a side view, but then kind of from a different angle, and I don't know, I think it looks great from the side. So here is our key fob. We got the unlock, the lock, and then here on the back we've got the Toyota logo with the Corolla logo as well. Pretty straightforward key fob. Now for the hatch operation itself, you guys might think like in Volkswagen styling you have like the opening here on the Toyota logo. It's not, it's actually down below. So that's how you pop open the hatch. Now actually popping here into the hatch itself, you guys will notice first off we've got the Corolla floor covering here, and then pick that up, press this down, and then the latch will pop up, and then you got the spare tire just underneath. So that's definitely a big positive. And then I have to just push it down and then push that down, and then it'll be good. And then this is pretty abrasive here on the bottom portion right there, and that's kind of how it all stays down. And then notice here the storage on either side here. And then we've got some goodies like our first aid kit that comes with all Toyotas, and then it already has a cargo cover built in from the factory. Now you can remove it. It just has these little loops on either side, but if you want your stuff to be hidden, then you've got that. And then they have these little handles here to help bring it down, but the thing I've noticed with this is it's easiest just to pull it in the center. You will leave some fingerprints, but it's easier to lower it down that way. Now let's finish things up here with the rear of the Corolla. So first off, really like the design here with the taillights, and then notice the badges here on the back are all blacked out. And then coming down here, you guys notice there's not like a prominent exhaust tip. You've got this that kind of looks like it would house an exhaust, but it doesn't. It's just for stylistic purposes. You actually have to like duck down below here, and then you guys will be able to see like the muffler, and then you can see the exhaust tip here off to the side a little bit. So they kind of have that hidden, I think, for stylistic purposes to keep everything clean here in the back. But I'm actually gonna pop over this so you guys can see a full view here of the rear. Again, I think it looks really good. It kind of reminds me of like a Mazda 3 hatchback in a sense, kind of like with the shape and everything, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think it looks great. Now popping here into the rear, this isn't padded or anything, but we do have the door handle right there. Down below is padded, however, it's got nice stitching throughout, and it's very soft to the touch. Notice this is all blacked out, and we've got the window control right there. And then here are the seats in the back. So got these cloth seats. They're all blacked out to kind of match this package. And you guys can see the design on it looks really good. Now popping in, you guys can see the legroom. It's a little bit more on the cramped side, but again, this is a smaller size car. And then I do fit from a headroom perspective. And then you can see you've got some extra storage right here. And then this pulls down to be an armrest, cup holder setup and everything. And that's what it looks like when it's closed. If you guys are wondering what you'd see point of view as a passenger. Let's head to the front. Now here's the door panel at the front. So the thing that's interesting here is this is actually a little, it feels like it's a little bit softer than what you have in the rear, and it has stitching through it. And then you've got nice padding down below, just like in the rear. All of your window controls, you got your door lock and unlock, the mirror adjustments, and then here's a quick look at the mirrors themselves. We have the Corolla plaque right there, and then you can see the seats here in the Corolla for the front, so you guys can see the headrest. Again, same design here in the center, really nicely bolstered. They kind of make the bolstering a little bit more aggressive on the Corolla because it's supposed to be a sportier type car. The seats are manually adjustable. There's a quick look at the pedals. You got the hood latch release right there. That's for the lights. The steering wheel is manually adjustable, and there's when we're looking before we pop in. So here is our steering wheel with the Corolla. You've got leather trim around the steering wheel itself. The stitching in the center is all blacked out. And then we have our cruise control, lane departure assistance, all that fun stuff on the side. I've got this for the radio, volume, voice command controls on the other side, and then we have these controls here for the center stack itself. Even though it has a CVT, it does have paddles, as you guys can see here. We've got these little paddle shifters on the back of the steering wheel. In terms of the feel of them, they're just plastic, so, but I think they look pretty cool. Actuation, feels pretty decent. You got your windshield wiper stock, and then you have your turn signal and light stock on the other side, and well, that's all for the steering wheel. So here is the center gauge cluster. Don't worry, I'll show you guys all the elements because I know the sunlight's kind of putting a hamper on things quite a bit. But obviously you got the speed there in the center with the fuel gauge, and then here off to the side you've got the RPMs, and then down below like temperature gauge. And then here on the other side we have the little screen, and that's what these steering wheel controls are for, is this little screen. So you can scroll through different menus, see different bits of information on the vehicle, for example, safety tech, messages, all that kind of stuff, average fuel economy, which is not accurate because this car hasn't been driven at all. But yeah, those kind of things. So it's mostly analog gauges with itty bitty screen there on the side, and that's all. So here's the center infotainment system. First off, we're going to pop it into reverse. You've got a backup camera. Now the trajectory lines do not turn with the steering wheel, as you guys can see. Nothing's happening there, but resolution on the camera is pretty good. Now, as for the rest of the infotainment system, first off, response time here with the buttons on this side is actually really solid. It doesn't look like it has navigation added to it. Now, as for the screen itself, I'll press a couple of the functions here, just going through. So you guys can see response time with that is great. I feel like it's pretty easy to use, pretty straightforward as well with all the controls and everything, right? You have all these shortcut buttons on either side. So if you're a button person, you got buttons. If you're a screen person, well, you can just use the screen for that type of stuff, and that's all for that. Got our hazard lights here. We've got the analog climate controls down below. This does have just a single zone climate with it. I love how it has an eco heat cool mode, so you can save on fuel. Got some extra storage space down here, and then notice the stitching right here. We've got sport mode, which you can go into, and if you guys are wondering, it will pop up here on the screen in green. It just says sport, so nothing too fancy, but there's that. You got the stability control as well. Here is the manual mode. So again, you can use the shifter, right? So if you just pop it over into drive and down, got the plus and the minus with the shifter, but then you can also use the paddles on the steering wheel. Parking brake right here with the auto hold. Got a couple of cup holders right here. And then you guys can see here with the center console, nice stitching on it. And then the storage space with a 12 volt and the USB. And then you guys can see that material used here on the dash, just like what they have on the door panel. Now it's not, it is softer to the touch, but it's not as like soft as the padding you get down here, if that makes sense. And then here is the glove box. Boom. So here's a quick look at the mirror. It does have a manual dimmer that goes with it. And then all black headliner, no sunroof or anything like that. And then regular good old sun visors with mirrors, and there you go. Now here's a window sticker for this Toyota Corolla hatch, and you guys can see model year and all that kind of stuff. Anyways, you can see all the standard equipment that comes with this. So again, this is a Nightshade edition, which is now its like own package. It's not just like an option. And then you guys can see the optional equipment on this particular one, which isn't a lot. And then the total MSRP down here, $24,878. And that's going to sum things up for a quick video here on this Corolla hatch. I want you guys to let me know if you like it and all that kind of stuff in the comment section down below. Now that's going to sum things up for our video on this 2022 Toyota Corolla hatch in the SE Nightshade package. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Toyota here in Murray for giving me some time with this car. Check out the inventory in the description down below. I will see all of you in that next video.